very long. They perhaps from microlithic phase they entered into Iron Age, because that rate also gives you access to what you call limonitic pelts. That also yields some iron, but otherwise this area is also known for iron ore resources, and then developing iron metallurgy was not a challenge to these people who were adapting to this. So this is the opening mouth of the cave called Malanguinim, where we found on the floor of the cave microliths, and then it was a disturbed floor because modern day shepherds move in and out of this area. And then we thought this is a potential place, and then there were some pits already. We expanded these pits, we could go deeper, and then subsurface we could find microliths, and then animal bones along with that. So that was in the 1990s. We had a new technology for relative chronology called fluorine phosphate ratio of animal bones belonging to the buried environment and belonging to surface modern environment. So fluorine phosphate ratios between the modern animal bone and an ancient mammal bone gives us an idea of a relative age estimate for the animal bones. And these animal bones were associated with some of the trenches we dug, and then the animal bones. And Dr. Korisettar at Deccan College, an archaeological chemist, he had developed this method called fluorine phosphate ratio estimation of bones of animals belonging to different time periods in the Pleistocene, and the standard charts were there. And when she measured the fluorine phosphate ratio of these, she could definitely tell us that at least 6,000 years ago these animal bones were hunted by these microlithic people and so on. And that is where we could establish that late middle Holocene, means about 66,000 BC time period, human hunter-gatherers were already here. But now I suspect the same cave might produce much older evidence of microlith production and adaptation in this area and so on. So we have these talukas, GOA, Salfet, Kupem, Kanapon, all these sites. We have listed these sites, nearly 50 or even more, and I'm sure there are many more. And then, as I said, we don't have clear transition from Mesolithic to Neolithic to Iron Age. So we have suddenly an outburst of megalithic sites, monuments. These are all memorials. They need not be always burial monuments. They are sepulchral as well as non-sepulchral. Sometimes they are symbolic megaliths, and sometimes there are megaliths which also contain human remains interred. So these sites are also documented in southern part of Goa. And then they give this kind of stone tools. So this is a polished axe, and that is why many archaeologists think that when they find a polished axe, it should be Neolithic. But it is not necessary. It was invented in the Neolithic, but continues into Neolithic and early historic period as well. So, but the evidence, the context in which these megaliths occur, and megaliths anywhere in India or outside, they are all Iron Age. And here your lateritic columns were established, installed during the megalithic. There are multiple types of these megaliths here. We have these menhirs, we have stone alignments, and then this kind of pottery, red pottery, and then polished axes and so on. And then these are line drawings of these axes to convince. And then we have trilithons. They recall our, what we call the famous British Stone Age, but it's not anyway connected to it. But these are symbolic representations of the megalithic practices of the Iron Age community here. And then with these typical stone circles, these are not stones exactly, they are blocks of indurated laterite. In other parts of India, we find them used as stone blocks and so on. But here in Goa, because the source is proximal source, they could cut the blocks of this duricrust, lateritic hard crust, and then stone circles is one of the phenomenon of megalithic burials and so on. And we have them all over. And then one of them was excavated, not by our team, previously excavated by the archaeologists here. We are not very sure.